with 1:07 to go.
It's a really good throw there by the Newcastle quarterback. Not necessarily a wide open target either, just a really good throw.
It's a handoff up the middle to Blanchard, who loses yards. It's a loss of 1. It'll be 4th down and 2. In fact, they're going to say no gain, 4th down and 2. 36 seconds to go. Blanchard player moved, but not into the neutral zone. 4th down and 2 as Newcastle is going to let the clock run down and use a timeout with 11 seconds left on the clock. Keep it right here.
I would like to say that I think the Wi-Fi problems are behind us. Thank you for everyone for sticking with us through the coverage. Thank you to everyone for sticking through us with the streaming troubles and on 104.5 Classic Rock. As of right now, our Wi-Fi seems to be in the clear. Oh, so we should be all good.
Come on, Drake.
Sorry about that.
Kicked over my binoculars, my man. I'm just messing with you. You break them, you buy them.
I know, that's why I'm checking.
Those are antiques.
The Newcastle crowd seemed to be a little bit weary of.
Did you notice
12 men on the
like
field?
Blanchard had 12 on the field?
When I counted at the very end before we went to break, I saw 11. Now
But that was
may have been
the play after. Yeah.
Right, that may have been a different story before. Regardless, that is a missed call. And you know what? I'll say it. A little bit of a make-up call from the no call that was supposed to be a fumble on Newcastle, the backwards pass. So,
See what Newcastle does here on 4th down and 2. 10 seconds to go. Here's the thing. If they don't get it, we know Carson Cooksey with the wind at his back can throw the ball into the end zone.
True. We've seen it many times before, both to Brayson Carter and to Corrick Pierce. That lone Piedmont touchdown for them and that loss to Piedmont came on a last-second heave to Corrick Pierce in the end zone.
4th and 2 at midfield for Burke at quarterback. Hard count. Nobody jumps for Blanchard. Now I think Burke is going to punt this one away. Takes the snap, and he does punt it away. It's a good punt. Bounces down inside the 20. And Newcastle lets the clock run out for the first half, and that's how the first half ends. 14-10 our halftime score. Blanchard with the lead. All the points came in the first quarter. Drake, your thoughts at halftime of this Tri-City rivalry matchup?
It was with us not being here last year, I was intrigued to see what kind of Newcastle was going to bring. I thought it was going to be more of a power run style offense, and most of their successes come through the air, so that's a little bit surprising. But for Blanchard, I really think you're getting whatever you want. The problem is you're kind of stepping over your own feet, and it's kind of hard to navigate. There's been some drives where they've gotten some really good yardage, and then it's been kind of debunked by either an interception or maybe some penalties that you caused. I think if you can clean up those small little errors, I think you're going to be cruising to victory here, because this Newcastle defense, when you've been able to get on those runs, hasn't really been able to have an answer. It's just if you can stop making yourself make those errors.
Halftime score 14-10. Blanchard with the lead. The 2 Blanchard touchdowns, a 48-yard touchdown catch by Hudson Perryman from Carson Cooksey. The extra point was no good, and then after Blanchard led 6-0, Newcastle took a 7-6 lead on a touchdown of their own, on a 3-yard touchdown after Blanchard turned it over on downs. And then the ensuing kickoff, Brayson Carter took back 94 yards for a touchdown, and that made the score 14-7 after the 2-point conversion catch by Hudson Perryman, the circus catch in the back of the end zone. And then a field goal right before halftime made it 14-10, and that is our halftime score right now here in Newcastle.
And again, thank you to all who have kind of weathered the storm here. We've had Wi-Fi problems here for about most of the second quarter, but everything seems to be streamlined now, and I think we are good to go for the rest of the game. But thank you all, whoever's listening on the stream or 104.5 Classic Rock. Thanks for sticking with us. We should be in the clear now.
14-10 is our halftime score. Blanchard Lions football will be back after this.
Please welcome your Newcastle High School Pop Squad. NHS Pop would like to thank the brave men and women who fight for our country. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the Blanchard High School Marching Band. This outstanding group of young musicians is led by directors Jen Kaufman and Carol Van Bickel. Percussion instructor is Tyler Romine. Guard instructor is Allison Pullman. Show coordinator is Todd James and consultant Rich Zampernini. Music is composed by Rob Stein. Percussion by Nathan Langford and Tyler Romine. Our drill rider is Caleb Jones and percussion tech is Alex Price. Our student teacher is Michaela Walker. Solos tonight by Elijah Morrison on trumpet and Delilah Evans on mellophone and Clay Hankins on snare. The band is led on the field by drum major Sadie Crawford. The band invites you to follow our performers as they explore the colors, movements, and music beyond the big top, where things may or may not be as they seem. The ringmaster has your ticket and invites you to step right up.
we're live.
What a beautiful night. We do have a great performance going on from the Blanchard band right now. I thank everyone who's been with us tonight. My team, Nancy by Blanchard, I care. We certainly thank them for all of the Blanchard High School football. Other sponsors here today, but a big shout out to Blanchard I Care. Tonight's top sponsor has been with us since the beginning, right? Yeah,
Blanchard I Care, 2 years strong, as long as we've been doing this whole dog and pony show. But I don't want to bury the lead anymore. During halftime, we have some scores to get through around the league, don't we?
Yeah, let's see if we got some already. Let's start with this year. It's a couple of class and a halftime basketball. It's definitely this. Look at this.
Yeah.
Can't really see that. Nothing at halftime.
I'll be honest. The entire year when we've been doing this, there hasn't been really a whole long period that's really been like, wow, okay, could be potential upset. I don't say that's going to happen, but that's an interesting score.
Those are the scores in the district right now. Some of the other scores from around Class 4A tonight. Weatherford leads Woodward 14-0 at halftime. Sallisaw 21-3 over Stillwell at the half. Wagner leads Oologah 17-0. Poto up big at halftime over Dale 35. Broken Bow 20-14 over Fort Gibson. It's Cushing 28-6 at halftime. 18-7 is the score in Skiatook, where Cleveland leads Skiatook. 42-0. Cash leads Southeast at halftime. 7-0 McLean leads Miami. 6-0 over Elk City. And Ada leads Hilldale by a score of 7-0 at halftime. Those scores around Class 4A. Chickasha also beat John Marshall last night by a score of 49-28.
Yeah, I was saying a little bit during the pregame, well, the little bit of pregame that we had, that, you know, last year going into that Tuttle game, not trying to put the cart before the horse here, but Tuttle really good in a lot of different places last year. I think a really complete team. And when you talk about, you know, what they look like this year, obviously that game last year didn't have McAdoo, a big mover and shaker for them in both the offensive and the defensive side. This year, I think it might just, you know, I'm not saying it's just McAdoo, but I think it's a lesser full team than what we saw last year from Tuttle. So I'm really intrigued next week. But with that being said, Newcastle's, we got to take care of business here first. And that kind of starts with not shooting yourself in the foot, making the job harder for you than it already is.
Blanchard finishing up their halftime performance. I want to thank some more of our sponsors tonight, First United Bank and Mortgage. And by the way, that halftime scoreboard update brought to you by First United Bank and Mortgage.
Absolutely.
Yarborough and Sons Heating and Air, they are our touchdown sponsor, and they have sponsored a few touchdowns tonight, a 48-yarder from Hudson Perryman on a catch from Carson Cooksey, and then a 94-yard kick return by Brayson Carter. And then our starting lineup sponsor tonight, Brightway Insurance. Our injury report was brought to you by Hometown Healthcare as well. Some of our other sponsors tonight, the LB Realty Group, Casa de Wolf Design, Sutterfield Surveying, Coops Performance Gym, Quick Wrench, 10 Arrows Roofing, Craig and Straight Orthodontics, and Keeler Custom Homes. And just a reminder, if you want to be a part and sponsor Blanchard High School football, or you know what, I would just say just in general, Drake, if someone wants to advertise on Tyler Media Station, they should give you a call, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can reach me at 405-365-6672, 405-365-6672. It's almost kind of ingrained in my brain now from all the cold calls that I make anyways during the job. But, yeah, we really just want to shout out our sponsors, especially those who have been with us for the past 2 years that we've been doing this whole operation, and a big shout out to the sponsors that have been newly acquired, newly formed coming into this year. But with that being said, I would like to shout out something that we only got a little bit to talk about going into one of the drives for Blanchard. 10 Arrows Coffee and Bistro tomorrow night from 7 to 9 will be hosting their first trivia night for the fall. We plan on having 3 in the fall at the last Saturday of every single month. There are limited tables available, probably around 2 or 3 for a full party of 5, I would say. We've done a really, really good job of getting those tables filled out. There's going to be a really awesome grand prize with $500 worth of prizes going to the winning table. A lot of other extra goodies planned for the night as well. And if you're worried about missing the OU game versus Iowa State, which is going to be a night kick starting at 6 p.m., 10 Arrows does a really, really good job of bringing out some TVs. So not only will you be able to potentially win some prizes, $500 worth of prizes, but you're also going to be able to watch the OU game as well. So do not worry about being hesitant coming out if you're going to miss the OU game, because you will not. Once again, for pre-registration for the event that happens tomorrow from 7 to 9, September 30th, all you need to do is text 405-740-5678. That's 405-740-5678. If you plan on pre-registering and you do not want to be with a table of other people, you have to pre-register with 5 members. There is a max of 5 members per table. That means if you come in with 4, you will be matched with a table of 1 and vice versa. So if you want a table with your own party and just your party, that will be 5 people max to a table, $500 worth of prizes to the winning team, and that starts at 7 p.m. tomorrow at 10 Arrows Coffee and Bistro. It's trivia night, and if you want to pre-register, just text 405-740-5678 to register now. There are limited tables available.
Tonight's game again brought to you by Blanchard Eye Care. Let's look at some other scores from around Class 6A tonight. Owasso leads Mustang at halftime 20-3. It's Enid 35-14 over Moore in the second quarter. Edmond Memorial up 21-14 on Norman at halftime. Edmond Santa Fe leads Edmond North 35-17 in the second quarter. Westmore up 14-6 on Jinx at Jinx in the second quarter there. Norman North winning at Broken Arrow tonight 21-14 in the second. Union leads Yukon 35-7 second quarter, and a final from last night. It was Bixby 66, Southmore 0. As we run down Class 6A2, Muskogee 55-0 over Putnam City West. Ponca City 21-8 over Lawton. That's in both those games in the third quarter. Deer Creek 17-0 over Putnam City at halftime. Putnam City North leads Northwest Classen 48-0 at the half. Stillwater up 35-7 on Booker T. Sand Springs 34-7 lead over Tahlequah. Bartlesville leads U.S. Grant 41-0. And last night Capitol Hill lost to Choctaw by a score of 71-0. Again, just real quickly, our scores in district tonight for Blanchard as the Lions look to improve to 2-0 in district play. 7-0 Tuttle leads Hara. That game now into the third quarter. The score here, Blanchard 14, Newcastle 10. Tecumseh leads Classen 21-7 at halftime. And the one other game in district tonight is Bethany, who leads Bridge Creek 28-0 at the half. We'll be back, and when we come back, we'll have the second half kick here from Newcastle, Oklahoma, from Racer Stadium from Gene Reed Field. Our halftime score tonight, Blanchard 14, Newcastle 10. Before we hit a break, I want to give a quick shout out to tonight's game sponsor, Blanchard Eye Care. And thanks to Reeves Mitchell back in studio and the great Nate here on site. Drake Vitito with me. My name is Todd Lisenby. We'll be back with second half action after this. This is Blanchard Lions football.
Support your school's booster club and get your business in front of thousands of potential customers.
Talk about a win-win.
Advertising packages start on this streaming station for less than $10 a game. Call 405-726-0835 or email adam@squirtle.com right now for more information.
For more than 100 years, Oklahoma Career Tech has been training skilled and dedicated individuals, giving clear career paths to over 90,000 graduates a year. These individuals are the heartbeat of the Oklahoma workforce, serving thousands of companies, fueling this state's economy. Oklahoma is powered by Career Tech.
Is it time for your school or business to purchase a new phone system? Give the experts at Versatile Networks a call. In most cases, we can provide a phone system with brand new phones for less than your current monthly bill. Call us for a free quote today. Stream with Oklahoma's #1 high school streaming service, Squirtle.tv. Find out more at Squirtle.com/stream.
At Maples Nixon Diesel Horse, we've helped a lot of people, and our goal was to treat each and every person like a friend. And as a friend, we've got your back, always. We understand what you're going through. Being lawyers is what we do, but it's not all that we are. We care. We'll stand beside you throughout the entire legal process, not just as lawyers, but as your friends. We are Maples Nixon Diesel Horse, and we are here to help.
The AMG team is based in Oklahoma City and delivers your organization revenue enhancement through a combination of data science, innovative marketing, and business automation. We think like owners and behave as long-term partners. Delivering measurable results for nearly 20 years has made the AMG team known for our ability to efficiently and effectively execute objectives. We're ready to help raise your organization to a higher level of success, so visit us today at theamgteam.com.
Newcastle, Racer Stadium, Gene Reed Field, Todd Lisenby, Drake Vitito. 14-10, Blanchard leads Newcastle at the half, about to get the second half underway. And Newcastle will get the ball to start the second half. Blanchard's going to kick with that south wind at their back. The wind's been pretty steady tonight. It's been a decent factor, especially in the kicking game. Look at that, our man Dylan Buckingham down there at the 30-yard line.
Oh, my goodness. Haircut North, is that what we call him?
Haircut North.
I think he actually looked like he did get a haircut recently. It's good to see Dylan. Last time we saw Dylan at a Blanchard game was Blanchard Piedmont, and I believe he stayed for pretty much the whole entire game, if I remember correctly. A large part of the game.
Blanchard led this game 6-0 after Hudson Perryman's touchdown grab. Newcastle retook the lead 7-6 on a 3-yard touchdown run by Bradford, TJ Bradford, and then a 94-yard kickoff return by Brayson Carter. Made it 14-7 after the 2-point conversion. Newcastle added a 23-yard field goal. And that's how we got to this 14-10 score at the half. Maldonado will kick it away. Remember last time he kicked it to a perfect spot at about the 32-yard line, and it checked up like a pitching wedge. This time he's going to kick it a little deeper. It's going to be taken out across the 25 to the 30, up to the 35 and 37-yard line. That's Caden Longman on the return. Out to the 36, and that's where Newcastle will have a 1st and 10.
Regardless of where Newcastle starts, I mean, the story remains the same for the Blanchard defense. They've done a really good job. At the end of the day, Newcastle scores on a one-play drive at their, at the 3? and then they also settle for a field goal. So I think job accomplished so far for this Blanchard defense. You just got to set the tone early here in the third.
Burkton first down. Hands it off right up the middle to Bradford. Runs off left guard, and not a whole lot there. He gets about 3 yards up to the 39. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Terrence Johnson on the tackle.
And, it all starts at that line of scrimmage. I mean, outside of a couple of, gash runs here by the Newcastle offense, Blanchard's doing a really good job sealing the edges, keeping that inside contained, really forcing them to go through the air.
There's a throw in the flat right side, complete to the 35, to the 40, breaking a tackle at the 45, midfield, 45, 40, and out of bounds. That pass is complete to Jordan Lane. He caught it at the 38, got it all the way down to the Blanchard 40. That's a 22-yard gain.
Really thought Cork might have had a really good tackle in space right there. Obviously, Newcastle, those skill position players doing a good job of blocking downfield, but Cork, I think if you had asked him, he wouldn't have had that one back. Almost had that tackle in the backfield, but really good play to miss by the Newcastle offensive player.
There's a handoff right up the middle to Bradford. He cuts back to his left and gets about 3 yards from the 40 down to the 37. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Interesting, TJ Bradford wears that protective shield on his helmet.
That isn't just my sight. It's interesting. Oh.
And Blanchard's going to jump offside here. 5 free yards. As Jake Carter got a little too antsy there and jumped into the neutral zone.
If you do have to put a positive spin, kind of a sunshine pump on the penalties against Blanchard, they've all been on the offensive side. The one thing that this defense doesn't want with how well they've been playing is giving that Newcastle offense any yards.
Scoreboard just went out. 2nd down as there's a handoff up the middle to Bradford. Bradford keeps it inside the 25. There's a flag that's going to come in as he carries it all the way down to the 20. Scoreboard's back on. There's a 12-yard run and a 1st down. We'll see what the flag's for.
Got to be a hold, right?
It's in the area of holding. Thrown by the referee. And it is a hold on Newcastle.
I will say, for, as many times as Blanchard has kind of gotten in their own way, Newcastle's kind of responded almost the exact same way. There's plenty of penalties coming from that side of the field as well.
Line of scrimmage was the 32 in Blanchard territory. The hold happened at the Blanchard 29, so it moves it back to the 39. It's basically a 7-yard penalty, and we'll make this 2nd down and 9. Four receivers on 2nd down as Burchett is in at running back now. The tight end to the left, 2 receivers that way as well for Burkton, the shotgun. Blanchard shows blitz, the pass in the flat, complete to the 40, to the 35, and driven out of bounds at the 34. That's Terrence Johnson on the tackle. Another grab for Jordan Lane. Gain of 5 on the play will bring up a 3rd down and 4.
It's intriguing because we've kind of been at a stalemate almost for the better part of the 2nd quarter heading into this 3rd quarter. It's really imperative right here for someone to gain the momentum back. It's a big question of who is it going to be. The Blanchard defense has done really well. Newcastle O hasn't really been able to generate much except right now. Got to take advantage of the opportunities given to you.
Burked in the gun. Hands it to Burchett right up the middle. Makes a cut. Has the 1st down inside the 30 and slung down at the 29. He needed 4 yards and he got 5. It's a 1st down for Newcastle. Nice drive for the Racers here to open this 3rd quarter.
And this is how, Newcastle's going to be able to give themselves a chance to win the game. This is what we thought coming in, that they were going to be able to, move a little bit, is really commit hard to that run game and try and establish themselves on that line of scrimmage. This is what we thought they were going to be doing, and this is exactly kind of the template of what this Blanchard defense should be expecting right now.
1st and 10 at the Blanchard 29. Burke fakes a handoff, steps up, throws, right side, pass incomplete. Nobody there. Miscommunication with Lane. And it'll be 2nd and 10 as Jordan Lane, the intended receiver, went inside and the pass went outside.
And that's kind of the tit for tat that you get. Newcastle obviously really good at the run game, but they are going to try and rear back and throw a pass deep and try and catch you sleeping. It's all up to that Blanchard defense to be sure that they are not caught sleeping and be able to respond with a wild throw that was nowhere close to the target.
Burke hands up the middle to Burchett, who gets hit at the line, fights forward for a few yards, and he's finally wrestled down at the 26. Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Obviously, for a team with, a person who's not comfortable kicking field goals, be no man's land. But in an area like this, if Blanchard does force, a 4th down, I'm intrigued to see if they go for a field goal here.
3rd and 7 at the 26. Hard snap count. Now Newcastle looks to the sideline. Man in motion is Jordan Lane. It's a handoff up the middle to Bradford. Bradford hit in the backfield. He's not going to get it. He does fight forward for 3 yards. As that was Ben Hefner on the tackle. It'll be 4th down from the 23, 4th down and 4.
Looks like they're going to go for it. Talked to Ben Hefner a little bit at the coach's show, just talking about how close and tight-knit that linebacker group is. They've done a pretty good job here thus far being able to contain that run game.
Ball's at the 23. Newcastle needs to get it to the 19. 8:41 to go 3rd quarter. It's a fake handoff by Burke. Throws it in the flat for Lane, and Carter comes up and hits him, but not before he's got the 1st down at the 18-yard line. 5-yard gain on a 4th and 4, and this long drive continues for Newcastle.
Pretty simple play there, pass in the flats with one lead blocker, and it was just enough to get a 1st down for the Racers. Pretty good stand there by the Blanchard defense. Just got to finish that last play. They're going to have a couple more chances to do it right here.
1st and 10. Burke hands it to Bradford, running left, hit at about the 15 and driven backwards. Tyler Hughes, one of the first ones there. Helmet comes off late for Bradford. He's going to have to come out for a play. It's a gain of about 3 on the run from the 18 down to the 15. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Big Ross Johnson almost got him there just past the line of scrimmage, but really good job to rally to the ball there by the edge of the Blanchard Lions and kind of stop the bleeding there. Could have been a big gash run there at the edge, but they stopped it.
Still opening drive of the 2nd half. Blanchard up 14-10 as Burke drops to throw. Has time, throws right side, pass incomplete. Dangerous throw. He was hit as he threw it, and that was Gage Ellison who got there again and made the play, and it'll be 3rd down and 6.
Depending on how the rest of this game goes, if it becomes a stalemate for much longer, maybe Gage Ellison, an early candidate for LB Realty Group Player of the Game. Potentially.
3rd and 7 here from the 15. Need to get it to about the 8, does Newcastle. Within field goal range, but down by 4. That field goal obviously wouldn't give the Racers the lead back. Burke on 3rd down. Dropping, throwing pass, tipped, intercepted. Hefner's got it at the 15 to the 20 to the 25. He lowers his head and takes it out to the 29-yard line. The pass was tipped. There's a flag after the play, and it's an interception by Hefner.
It's a great block by that defensive line for Blanchard. Great awareness by Hefner to locate the ball after the tip. Big hit by Hefner, really establishing himself. Don't get much chances, those backers do all the time, depending on who you're playing against. But Ben Hefner had his chance, and he took advantage of it. Actually asked him on the coach's show, he said, can we be expecting any big plays from you during the rivalry game? And I think he came up big right there. I wonder what the flag's for. Is it helmet to helmet again? That's the only thing I can think.
No, it was after the play.
After the play?
It might be one of those where it's personal foul on both teams.
It's on the Newcastle side.
Newcastle coaches are not happy about the call, whatever it is.
Leads me to believe it might be.
4.5-minute drive that ends up with an interception. We'll see what the call is. It's dead ball, personal foul on Newcastle, and that's going to move the ball from the 29 all the way out to the 44. So Hefner with the interception, and now Blanchard's got the ball all the way up at the 44-yard line. 1st and 10 with 7.5 to go in the 3rd quarter, up 14-10.
I didn't really get to see the pileup that happened after the tackle, but there was an influx of black jerseys around Tiefner and the couple of Blanchard players that were on. Obviously, maybe it was, I don't know if it was a word that was said, but Blanchard will take it. And the big thing here is, complementing that takeaway that the defense generated and turning it into a score. They're starting at really good field position to do that.
Cooksey in the shotgun. Blitz shown. Hand off to Howell right up the middle. Howell gets hit and driven backwards, and a flag's going to come in for a hold, I believe, as well. It's going to move Blanchard back 10 more yards. Lots of penalties in this one. 10-yard penalty on Blanchard will make it 1st and 20.
Is that odd to see, a hold at a play that ends pretty much behind the line of scrimmage? I mean, it seemed like a pretty quick, transaction that happened. Pretty quick for a call to be made. I'm not sure, though.
I think he said he grabbed him around the neck. Like he got him wrapped around the helmet.
I see.
Probably one of those that was pretty obvious.
Regardless, here for the Blanchard O, same story as that first half. A lot of times you were able to march down the field and give the ball away to the opponent. Take advantage of the opportunities that the defense gives you.
1st and 20 from the 34. Cooksey, play action, steps up, thinking about running with it, floating to his right, throws it downfield, pass is knocked down, incomplete. Good coverage. That was Rex Heskew on the coverage, intended for Carter. It'll be 2nd and 20.
And what's so tough about it is that, with 1st and 20, it's really hard to establish a run. I mean, you only have that limited play space to be able to get some momentum going on this drive. You almost have to dig yourself out of a hole with these passing plays that the defense now can easily expect because of the down and distance given. So just a really tough spot for this Blanchard O, not doing themselves any favors.
Cooksey on 2nd and 20. Carter in motion. It's a handoff to Howell up the middle, and he's going to be hit and dropped after a gain of just 1. As coming in to make the play for Newcastle that time was Shane Lovejoy. Aiden else is in there as well.
It's a really odd story to tell, Todd, because if you're going off of what Craig wanted that team to do tonight, I don't think you can check any of the boxes right now, but somehow you still have the lead. You have to be thankful for that, but just imagine what that score would be if you could actually, finish home on some of these plays, some of these drives.
3rd and 19 from their own 35. Need to get it to the Newcastle 46. Cooksey, empty backfield, has time, floats it, Perryman over the middle, makes a grab, 1st down into Newcastle territory at the 40-yard line and upended at the 39. They'll mark him at the 40. It was a 3rd and 19, and that's a 25-yard pass play from Cooksey to Perryman, which has been a big connection tonight.
How many times have we seen that play, the leak out to the big man down the middle of the field? Just a perfect pass by Cooksey as well.
Empty backfield for Cooksey this time, who's pressured and sacked. Ross Johnson got beat on the edge, and Cooksey's blind side got taken away that time as Hunter Berry makes the play for a loss of 9.
Give credit to the Newcastle defender. I think this is truly the first time where we can say the O-line truly did not do their job on that play, but it's good thus far. Just don't, like has been a common theme for this Blanchard O, don't compound mistakes. Just it's next play. Get to the next play. Don't harp on what has already happened in the past. Just next play mentality.
5:41 to go and ticking in this 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 19. Cooksey in the gun. Cooksey pressured, floats one, incomplete, intended for Carter. Had plenty of time to throw. He got hit because it was good coverage downfield. Just didn't have anybody open.
Yeah, really good coverage by that secondary of Newcastle. They had those 2 deep safeties, kind of taking away anything in the long game, and Cooksey just had to throw it away there because he was about to get a 2nd sack of the drive.
2nd straight 3rd and 19 Blanchard has faced. The last one they got a 25-yard pass. Ball's just past midfield with 5:29 to go 3rd quarter. All of our points were scored in the 1st quarter of this game. It's 14-10. as Perryman goes in motion. Cooksey rolling right, looking, steps up, throws, incomplete through the hands of Corrick Pierce. And it'll be 4th down now, and Blanchard, I would think, would punt it away.
Yeah, I do believe they'll punt it away here, Todd. Really good. I mean, it's a good response by the Newcastle defense, but if you're the Blanchard O, you have to kind of be kicking yourself here just from the mistakes that, you allowed that O to have, and just, these hampered opportunities that you're having of putting points on the board, like you said, that haven't been scored since the first quarter.
Cooksey in the shotgun. There are 2 people deep. Last time Blanchard tried to go for it on this. We'll see if they do again. From the 49, Cooksey's going to throw it. Left side, incomplete. And it's 1st down Newcastle at the 49-yard line. It's for the 2nd time on a 4th and long. Blanchard goes for it and can't complete it.
Very similar lineup that we saw in the very first quarter. They elected not to punt because they see man coverage. They think they can get Palmer on an island with one of the defenders. Putting a lot of trust in your defense. That's giving you results time and time again. Just another opportunity for them to go out and keep that momentum that they've got going through this whole game.
1st and 10 Newcastle from their own 49. Burke hands it off right up the middle to Bradford. And he runs across midfield to the Blanchard 48. Ben Hefner, who just had that interception, comes up in on that tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
One of the big things that we've said multiple times already, them trying to create that run. I mean, that interception that happened was because the run finally ceased to exist at that back half of that drive. So got to keep it up here.
And Blanchard gives him a free 5 yards. It's for the 2nd time tonight. Jake Carter gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Cade Saunders coming in to replace Carter.
So a 4-yard run on a 3-yard run on 1st down. Then a 5-yard penalty. It's now 2nd and 2 at the Blanchard 47. Burke hands it off. Big hole for Bradford, who runs left side, and a good tackle in open field by Corrick Pierce, but not before he runs all the way down to the 31-yard line for a gain of 16.
It's one of the things that Blanchard's been good at thus far is sealing that edge, not really allowing the agile runners, the quick runners of Newcastle to really take that edge, but that was not the case there. He was able to gash Blanchard for big yards at the sideline.
Correction, that was a gain of 11. 1st and 10 at the 31. 4.5 minutes left, 3rd quarter. Berg takes the shotgun snap, hands it right up the middle to Bradford, finds a hole to the right side to the 25, to the 20, and down there with another 1st down run. They're going to mark him at the 21, but it's still 10 yards and another Newcastle 1st down.
Got to think about the stamina aspect of that defense. Newcastle coming out with a very long first drive in the 3rd quarter. Offense not taking too much time off the clock.
Lord. We got to measure this one.
We have not gone to break yet in this 3rd quarter.
Well, this is a good time. As good a time as any to tell you that tonight's game is brought to you by Blanchard Eye Care. Drake, I know Blanchard Eye Care, a great sponsor of Blanchard football. They've been with us since the beginning last season when we started this whole enterprise, and I know you appreciate all the people over at Blanchard Eye Care.
Yeah, big shout out to Dr. Vince Young. He's been a supporter of us since day one.
It is a 1st down, by the way. Not Vince Young, the former Texas quarterback. We want to make that very clear.
Been a listener of you for a long, long time. I'm sure he's still a follower of you as well. But we appreciate everyone over at Dr. Young's establishment, Blanchard Eye Care being tonight's game sponsor. And honestly, a big shout out to all of our sponsors that came in this year. We honestly couldn't do it without you guys. Whether you're hearing us on the stream or hearing us on 104.5 Classic Rock, this doesn't really get to happen without you guys. So we appreciate, Todd and I both appreciate you very, very much.
1st down and 10 after that measurement at the Blanchard 21-yard line. 4:13 to go third quarter. Low snap. Burke handles it, hands it off to Bradford. Right up the middle. A nice hole again inside the 15, and he pinballs off a tackle down to the 13 for a gain of 8. Remember, Newcastle led this game by a point, 7-6, literally just for real time, about 45 seconds before they kicked it off and it was returned for a touchdown. There's another handoff to Bradford, this time past the 10 to the 9. That's a gain of 5 and a first down and goal, and now Newcastle is starting to control the line of scrimmage against Blanchard.
It's a really weird spot here too, because I think Jake Carter makes more sense matchup-wise for this Newcastle line, but if he keeps making those mental mistakes, I just don't know how he's able to keep that consistent playing time. But they just haven't been the same without him out of the lineup.
Burke out of the gun. Throws it left side. Pass is nearly picked off. Is it picked off? It's incomplete. Reagan Palmer jumped right in front of that one. Burke never saw him and nearly threw it in an interception.
Man.
Palmer just got right in his pocket on that one. Wasn't fooled at all, and Burke, I think, just didn't expect him to be there.
I think Palmer's hitting himself a little bit. That was right in his wheelhouse, right center mass in the chest.
Well, Heskew, the intended receiver, kind of turned into a defender there. Might have knocked it away from him.
Yeah.
Second down and goal from the 9. Handoff right up the middle. And Bradford gets about 2 yards to the, we'll give him 1 yard to the 8. Big Ross Johnson in there on him. It'll be a gain of 1. It'll be 3rd and goal.
That was Ross. I think I saw Blake Woods maybe too in there. Really good job of snuffing any sort of potential gain that Newcastle running back could have gotten. Big 3rd down right here.
3rd down and goal from the 8. Burke keeps it right up the middle, hit at about the 5, and he spins forward and leans to the 4. So he got half of it, and it's going to be 4th down and goal at the 4. Newcastle could kick a field goal here and cut it to 1, and it looks like that's what they're going to do.
Newcastle opts to play it safe, but I got to say, it's a really, really good job there by the Blanchard D. Newcastle obviously maintained a rhythm in that first half of the drive and really came to a stalwart right as soon as they got in the red zone. But like I said earlier, Todd, I think at the end of the day, if you can make Newcastle settle for kicks, it's a win.
Batchelder with a 21-yarder just inside the right hash, and that is right down the middle and perfect. Really good kick. Blanchard still has the lead. 2:05 to go in the third quarter. 14-13. Blanchard leads Newcastle. You're listening to Blanchard Lions football.
Support your school's booster club and get your business in front of thousands of potential customers. Talk about a win-win. Advertising packages start on this streaming station for less than $10 a game. Call 405-726-0835 or email adam@squirtle.com right now for more information.
For more than 100 years, Oklahoma Career Tech has been training skilled and dedicated individuals, giving clear career paths to over 90,000 graduates a year. These individuals are the heartbeat of the Oklahoma workforce, serving thousands of companies, fueling this state's economy. Oklahoma is powered by Career Tech.
Is it time for your school or business to purchase a new phone system? Give the experts at Versatile Networks a call. In most cases, we can provide a phone system with brand new phones for less than your current monthly bill. Call us for a free quote today.
Solve our
It's a high, short kick. that Pierce will take at the 24. Pierce fakes a reverse to Carter, keeps it right up the middle to the 35, to the 38. Ball comes loose. It's picked up by a Blanchard player who's hit after the play. It was down at the 38.
No, that was Braden Stacy, the junior.
And Blanchard will have it 1st and 10 at the 37 is where they're going to mark him. With 1:55 to go, third quarter. 14-13 Blanchard with the lead, thanks to tonight's game sponsor, Blanchard Eye Care. So we'll see what the Blanchard Lions can get going.
I think it's high time to say that this Blanchard offense is due for a score.
Cooksey hands it right up the middle. That's Mikhail Howell, who runs carrying a tackler up to the 39 for a gain of a couple. And Howell is slow to get up. He looks okay. I think they just got a little tangled there. They're going to mark him up at the 40, so a gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Minute and a half to go, third quarter.
I'm intrigued to see what a penalty-less, I know that's not a word, but a penalty-less drive looks like from Blanchard here, because I think there would be great success at the end of that road. They just need to travel it, get there.
Cooksey hands off to Howell again, right up the middle, big hole, 45 out to the 50-yard line. That's a run of 10 yards and a First United first down for Mikhail Howell on the carry.
The song remains the same for Blanchard. Got to establish that run to open up stuff from your skill position players. You got fans everywhere, Todd.
I do. I brought my binoculars tonight, but we're in the stands. So this young lady next to me wanted to look through the binoculars, and
she just took them?
No, she asked.
Oh, okay.
I gave her permission.
I thought she was just using them. That's pretty funny.
No, I usually need those binoculars when we're up in the press box, but
True.
It's a little lower here.
True.
1st and 10 Blanchard at midfield. Play clock at 1 as Cooksey hands to Howell, right side, finds some room off the edge to the 40, to the 35, and out of bounds near the 30-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 33. That's a 17-yard run and another First United first down for the Blanchard Lions.
Mikhail Howell has done really, really well in the run game here for Blanchard. Usually we see a little bit of a tandem between him and McIntyre, but it has been all Mikhail Howell this second half. Really doing good on, and you got to give credit to the line as well, establishing that line of scrimmage. But Mikhail Howell is getting a ton of extra yardage, just big individual efforts. We talk about it all the time. Mikhail Howell giving it all his tonight here in the rivalry game.
1st and 10 at the 33. Howell to the left of Cooksey. Cooksey takes the snap, hands to Howell again. This time he's hitting the backfield, jumps over a tackler, and gains 2 yards down to the 31. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 8.
And, what we're used to be seeing from Blanchard is, if that run game is able to get going, you get down to, where they are right now, the 31, 35-yard line, somewhere around that area, usually catch that Newcastle defense sleeping, ready for maybe a long shot here, maybe something in the end zone if they're not paying attention.
Worth noting that Newcastle will have the wind at their back in the fourth quarter. 23 seconds and ticking to go in this third quarter. Blanchard's got to hurry. Play clock at 3, and Blanchard's going to have to use a timeout. We'll take it with them. 17 seconds to go, third quarter. 14-13, Blanchard leads by a point. You're listening to Blanchard Lions football.
Stream with Oklahoma's #1 high school streaming service, Squirtle.tv. Find out more at Squirtle.com/stream.
At Maples Nixon Diesel Horse, we've helped a lot of people, and our goal was to treat each and every person like a friend. And as a friend, we've got your back always. We understand what you're going through. Being lawyers is what we do, but it's not all that we are. We care. We'll stand beside you throughout the entire legal process, not just as lawyers, but as your friends. We are Maples Nixon Diesel Horse, and we are here to help.
The AMG team is based in Oklahoma City and delivers your organization revenue enhancement through a combination of data science, innovative marketing, and business automation.
Welcome back. 2nd down and 8 for Blanchard as we come back with 16 seconds to go in the third quarter. Blanchard up 14-13 at the Newcastle 31-yard line. Cooksey has McHale Howell to his left. Carter goes in motion. That's McIntyre, actually, who gets the handoff right up the middle, has a nice run near the first down marker, and he's going to have the first down at the 23. That's an 8-yard run and a First United first down, and that is going to be how the third quarter comes to an end. 3 quarters in the books. Blanchard 14, Newcastle 13. As we are headed to the fourth quarter, you're listening to Blanchard Lions football.
Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field, backing all Oklahoma athletes on the field and off.
Support your school's booster club and get your business in front of thousands of potential customers. Talk about a win-win. Advertising packages start on this streaming station.
Welcome back as we start quarter number 4. 1st and 10 for Blanchard at the Newcastle 23-yard line. 14-13 the score. Blanchard with a 1-point lead as McIntyre back in at running back. On first down, Carter in motion, gets the handoff on a sweep, running left, gets a block from Perryman, gets the edge to the 15, to the 10, the 5, near the end zone. Is he in? He's in for a touchdown. Blanchard adds to the lead. It's 20-13 with the extra point pending, and the Lions are back up by 7. And they're going to go for 2, and this would be a huge 2-point conversion if they can get it, because it would make it a 2-score game.
I was just thinking, we have not seen a sweep to Carter or any of the receivers
an injured
yet.
Player. Didn't see there's an injured player all the way on the far side of the field. Go ahead, Drake. Sorry.
I was saying it was long due for a score from this Blanchard offense, but even kind of honing in on the offense itself, we haven't really seen much of the sweeps to either Carter or Korick or any of those guys. So not only was a score due, but I think one of those sweep plays were due because
they spent 3 quarters setting it up, right? And
right.
landed on the first play of the fourth quarter. It's going to be a touchdown of 23 yards for Brayson Carter. By the way, Jordan Lane, the injured player for Newcastle, he's getting both feet pushed back as if he's got cramps over there. And that touchdown brought to you by Yarborough & Son Heating and Air. And as we return from our break with that quick touchdown, I want to remind you again, tonight's game brought to you by Blanchard Eye Care.
Yeah, but, I mean, right there, if you're just looking at that drive as a whole, you got to give credit to that O-line for really setting that line of scrimmage for guys like McHale Howell to do the work that he did to get that yardage down the field. And it was just capped off by that play that we've seen very time and time again this season, a Brayson Carter jet sweep that ends up going right down the sideline with some really good blocking by those outside receivers, making that way for him to coast into the end zone for 6.
So it is going to be an extra point attempt now as Matt Campbell's in to kick this one.
Play of the game?
Potentially. It'd make it an 8-point game. Snap and hold are good. The kick has plenty of leg on it, and this one's right down the middle. So Blanchard has an 8-point lead. It's Blanchard 21, Newcastle 13, 11:48 to play. You're listening to Blanchard Lions football.
For less than $10 a game, call 405-726-0835 or email adam@squirtle.com right now for more information.
For more than 100 years, Oklahoma Career Tech has been training skilled and dedicated individuals, giving clear career paths to over 90,000 graduates a year. These individuals are the heartbeat of the Oklahoma workforce, serving thousands of companies, fueling this state's economy. Oklahoma is powered by Career Tech.
Is it time for your school or business to purchase a new phone system? Give the experts at Versatile Networks a call. In most cases, we can provide a phone system with brand new phones for less than your current monthly bill.
Welcome back. Yarborough and Sons Heating and Air touchdown. Brayson Carter, 23-yard touchdown run. It's 21-13. Blanchard leads Newcastle. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Blanchard Eye Care.
Maybe a good choice by you to put the binoculars on the other side
where you can't kick them over again.
What would you rather have, me kick your binoculars or a stranger use them?
Stranger. It's a kickoff to Bradford. He's dangerous on the return right up the middle of the field, all the way out across the 40 to the 48-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 49, not the person you want to kick the ball to. And a nice return for TJ Bradford. It'll be 1st and 10 Newcastle, a yard short of midfield. With 11:41 to go, I want to thank some of our sponsors tonight, Brightway Insurance, the LB Realty Group. Don't forget, after the game, we'll have our LB Realty Group player of the game. Casa de Wolf Design, Sutterfield Surveying, Keeler Custom Homes, Craig and Strait Orthodontics, 10 Arrows Roofing, Quick Wrench, Coops Performance Gym, Hometown Healthcare, Yarborough and Sons Heating and Air, and First United Bank and Mortgage. Tonight's title sponsor, Blanchard Eye Care. We appreciate all of their support of Blanchard Lions football. 1st and 10 Newcastle at the 49. Burke then at quarterback. Play action, has plenty of time. Right side, throws it, intercepted. Intercepted by Gage Ellison. Return to the 45-40, 35-30. Slips a tackle inside the 20 and finally brought down at the 17. Gage Ellison, who's had a huge game tonight defensively, makes his biggest play of the evening on an interception that he returns all the way down to the Newcastle 16-yard line.
Yeah, Gage Ellison has had his prints on the guy who has either had the ball or the ball itself all night long. Really good catch from him, really good awareness. You just know that the ball is going to be coming your way that fast. Way to evade a tackler there and get as many yards as you could on the return too. But more importantly, when is the next time we're going to call a game where both either side of the linebackers on the inside?
There's a flag down. I didn't see it. Sorry. See the flag? I think it's going to be sideline warning on Newcastle.
2 linebackers making interceptions from different people, though. When's the next time we're going to see that?
Do they mark a penalty?
The first one's a warning, correct?
Yeah, there's no penalty. So it's first down at the 17. No, it's first at the 12. Yeah, they moved it down 5 yards.
Regardless, this Blanchard that Blanchard defense has been giving you opportunities. Go take advantage of one.
It's 1st and 5 at the 12 is what it is. Nope, they're going to move it down. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 12. McIntyre in the backfield to the left of Cooksey. Pierce split out wide right.
Corrick's on an island right now.
Carter and Palmer split wide left. No deep safety here for Newcastle. Cooksey takes the snap. Hands it to McIntyre. Spun off a tackle. It's down to about the 11-yard line. Only gained 1 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Obviously, we're seeing a new kicker from Blanchard tonight. We're usually seeing Alex Price, the one who kicks. We know nothing about him. I don't know. Obviously, he's 1 for 2 with the extra point so far. I'm intrigued to see if they end up not getting this 4th down. I gotta assume that they're going to go for it right here.
Yeah, probably in 4-down territory unless you get down to like the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
2nd down and 9 at the 11. Cooksey hands off to McIntyre, right up the middle, cuts back at the 10 to the 5, all the way down to about the 3, but a flag's going to come in right at the point of attack, right in the area of a holding.
Man, we've seen it time and time again from Blanchard. Just defense is giving you all the gifts you can want, and the offense has just not been able to take advantage of those opportunities that the defense has allowed you. It's all happened at the line. It's all been holds.
I'm guessing it's a hold. It hasn't been marched back yet, but it looks like it's going to be.
Is that 5 now? 5 different holding calls on the O-line?
Something like that. Same official's thrown 3 or 4 of them. The umpire from behind the play.
We got one holding call from a back judge. I honestly cannot remember the last time I'd seen something like that. I don't even know if that's common or not.
Well, they marked that one off 11 yards, so got that going for us. It's 2nd down and 20. We went from 2nd and 9 to 2nd and 20 after a 10-yard penalty, which is strange. Play clock at 12. Blanchard's got to hurry here. Handoff up the middle. McIntyre bouncing outside left. Now cuts back at the 15. He's slung down hard, just short of the 15. McIntyre carries that one for 6.
You know,
it'll be 3rd and 14.
The reason why it's so imperative that this run game has been established by Blanchard is because, you know, those corners for Newcastle are playing very lax. They're off 7 to 10 yards of any of the playmakers on that wideout for Blanchard. I think it's just a matter of Blanchard taking what's given to them because they're really cutting off any sort of deep play that, you know, Blanchard can potentially generate. With that being said, they're in kind of a press right now.
Cooksey rolling right, looking, throwing, pass, caught, Pierce at the 5, dives, end zone, touchdown. Touchdown, Blanchard. Cooksey, great throw, threw a dart on the run to Corrick Pierce, who makes a 16-yard touchdown catch. And it's 27-13, Blanchard back up on top. Now by 2 scores, biggest lead of the game.
Like I was saying before that play started, those corners for Newcastle were really in that lax coverage, but they were up against those receivers that time in press coverage, and Corrick Pierce took advantage of it, created separation, and ended up getting 6.
Extra point is up, and it's good. 9:25 to go. Blanchard 28, Newcastle 13. You're listening to Blanchard Lions football.
Call us for a free quote today. Stream with Oklahoma's #1 high school streaming service, Squirtle.tv. Find out more at Squirtle.com/stream.
At Maples Nixon Diesel Horse, we've helped a lot of people, and our goal was to treat each and every person like a friend. And as a friend, we've got your back always. We understand what you're going through. Being lawyers is what we do, but it's not all that we are. We care. We'll stand beside you throughout the entire legal process, not just as lawyers, but as your friends. We are Maples Nixon Diesel Horse, and we are here to help.
Welcome back here in Newcastle. 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns for Blanchard. And it's 28-13. The Lions on top by 15 over Newcastle. Is this is Campbell that's going to kick this one away. And it's a high, short kick, going to be taken and dropped and covered up at the 34-yard line. As on the return that time for Newcastle, that was Antonio Brown. Not the same one, if that's what you're wondering.
Yeah.
Who jumps on it at the 33-yard line, 34.
I'm just thankful that not only has Blanchard increased their lead in this game, but I've also been able to increase my leg room. A couple of Newcastle faithful have exited early, and I am now, I don't even know what you call it, on my haunches, I guess. So that's a Drake update.
2 receivers each side for Burke, who's in the gun.
Uh-oh.
Hands it off to Bradford right up the middle. Nice hole, nice run out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. He's going to gain 9 on first down.
Ben Hefner ended up
8 on first down.
Ben Hefner ended up running in late on that play. I think they only had 10 dudes on the field. Now he's running out. Switched in with
McIntyre out there.
Yeah.
2nd and 2 at the 42. Newcastle's got to go fairly quick here with 9 minutes to go. Handoff up the middle again to Bradford. He's hit by McIntyre. He gets away from him, gets out near midfield to the 49 before he's driven back, but that's a run of 7 yards and another first down for Newcastle.
I know that Gage Ellison is a fringe contender right now for our LB Realty Group Player of the Game, but you really got to tip your hat to this offense so far. I mean, defense. They've really held.
The defense has played well. Burke, low snap, hands again to Bradford right up the middle, and a nice jaunt from the Newcastle 49 to the Blanchard 45, 6-yard gain. Bradford slapping his helmet. He's going to have to come out for a play as Burchett's going to come in. Nope, he's going to stay out there, 2nd down and 4.
I like that football terminology there, little jaunt. Much appreciated.
See if he gets another handoff. Not this time. Burke drops to throw. Pressured, steps up, holding penalty in the backfield. He runs down to the 36, but this one's coming back for a hold. Referee threw this one right as Burke got away. A 10-yard penalty is going to move it back to the Newcastle 45.
I will say we haven't been able to comment on it thus far during this program, but both teams' crowd showed out tonight. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of room out there for the Blanchard.
You expect it when these two teams play each other, right?
Right. I'm actually kind of intrigued just because that Blanchard visiting section is just not very big. Obviously, they have separate sections for the band and for the student section, but there's a lot of people out here on the outside as well, just covering, looking, watching.
Burke from his own 45, 2nd and 14, drops, steps up, throws, has a man, and he floated it too far out in front of Jordan Lane. It'll be 3rd down.
It's a big break there for Blanchard. That Newcastle receiver was running free. Newcastle quarterback just not able to make a play.
3rd down and 14 from their own 45 for the Racers. Need to get it to the Blanchard 41 here. 8:05 to play. Burke in the gun. Takes the snap, 3-man rush. Blanchard drops 8. Burke rolling to his right, floats one deep downfield, has a man, it's caught at the 12, cutting to his left at the 10, to the 5, near the corner of the end zone. Is he in? Waiting for the sign. And there's a flag down back at the line of scrimmage. And now you know how the Newcastle fans feel about that one.
Apologies for the stream if you just saw my back of my head or my face. I stood up to watch the rest of the play, and it was right in front of the camera. I apologize.
Well, you missed a very exciting play that's not going to count.
Oh, the things you hear on an enemy sideline is it's pretty interesting through the course of a game.
That was a great pass and catch. Jalen Lane made the grab.
Really good throw on the move, too. The Newcastle QB was rolling out to his right.
Newcastle's going to take a timeout with 7:50 to play. We'll take it with them. 28-13 Blanchard leads. You listen to Blanchard Lions football.
Welcome back.
Oh, in stereo. You're gonna bring us in, Drake. You got this.
Yeah. Welcome back. We're taking a little bit of a early comeback here from this timeout because I just want to give a quick shout out to some of the other Blanchard sports that ended up playing today. Obviously, the Newcastle softball team was honored a little bit ago for getting to super regionals. Blanchard softball were also regional champs today. It's the first time in 10 years that they have made it past or have been claimed regional champs. And also the Blanchard boys cross country meet was today, and the Blanchard boys team as a whole ended up getting first at, you guessed it, the Newcastle meet. And then the cross country girls also ended up placing second in that Newcastle meet as well. I talked to a little bit with the Blanchard superintendent about some of those upcoming events that were happening, so really good representation here for Blanchard today in multiple sports, and you can add on a sport if they end up holding Newcastle here in the final 8 minutes. Thank you for that.
No problem. Tonight's game sponsored by Blanchard Eye Care. 3rd down and 24 for Newcastle out of the timeout from their own 35. Blanchard showing blitz. They bring 4. Burke rolling to his right. Pressured, hit, and drop. Way back inside the 25 at the 23-yard line. He's sacked by Blake Woods. It's going to be 4th down all the way back at the 24. We got a flag down at the 40 in the secondary on Blanchard maybe. If this play stands, it's going to be 4th and 35. We'll see what the call is.
Did you hear the one Newcastle fan said, holding?
It's an eligible man downfield on Newcastle. That's going to be declined.
Yikes.
So it's 4th down and 35, and Newcastle has to punt it away with 7.5 minutes to go, down by 15.
That play for Blanchard, the Blanchard defense right there, has pretty much been the epiphysis of, you know.
Watch here. With the win, might be a return on for Brayson Carter, who's already returned to kickoff for a touchdown.
Very true.
Carter standing at his own 30.
Saw one from him last week.
The snap is good. Kick is high, and Carter's going to have to get away from it. It's a really good kick. It hits at the Blanchard 40, angled towards the sideline, and rolls out of bounds. They gave him about 4 extra yards on that kick at the 28-yard line. That ball went out of bounds at about the 32, and they ran all the way down to the 28. It's a good kick. 15 plus 22, that's 26. That's 48-yard kick, no return.
And I love how we've been complaining.
1st and 10 at the 30, too.
I love how we've been complaining about, you know, the Blanchard-O kind of crumbling some mistakes on themselves, and Newcastle seems to think they haven't been getting enough calls going their way.
1st down for Blanchard from their own 32. Cooksey sends Carter in motion. Hands it to him on the sweep. No, Cooksey keeps it right up the middle. Cooksey runs across the 35 to the 37, maybe the 38. We'll give him 6 yards on the carry.
I'll say, every time Cooksey keeps it, it seems like he's really good at making it seem like he's handing it off.
It's part of why it works so well, right?
Yeah. He's only I think that was the second time.
Oh, we got a sneeze on deck, maybe.
Uh-oh.
I think I'm going to be all right. 6-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Blanchard using all of the play clock here as they're going to go with about 10 seconds left on the clock. Rolling at 6:42 to play. Cooksey takes the shotgun snap, hands to Howell right up the middle. Howell running to the 40, chops his feet, gets 2 yards. Driven back right at the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 2. We'll be under 6 minutes to go before Blanchard has to snap this one. Lions up 28-13.
I know you can consider this a quote-unquote safe distance right now if you're Blanchard, but I think, you know, we call a little bit of an insurance score here. Maybe you smell blood in the water a little bit. You just want to take care of business against a rival. Just leave no stone unturned, leave nothing in doubt.
3rd and 2 from the 40. Cooksey hands to Howell again, right up the middle. 1st down across the 45. That's Tyler Hughes in there. on the carry to the 46. 6-yard gain for Tyler Hughes, and it'll be 1st and 10, a First United first down for the Lions.
He is listed as the third running back here on the depth chart, and we know he can deliver some big hits on the defensive
big
side.
Short yardage guy for him, Hughes is.
Yeah, a little bit. But you showed it why right there. He's a big body, and he's able to move guys even if they make that first contact with him.
First down and 10 Lions at their own 46-yard line. Hughes still in there next to Cooksey on the right side. Out of the gun, Carter comes in motion. High snap. Cooksey grabs it, hands it to Hughes right up the middle, gets away from a tackle to midfield and into Newcastle territory. It was a high snap, a delayed handoff, and Hughes just, it's almost like they overshot him on the tackle and he ran for 5.
Yeah, he took advantage of it too. I'm trying to make a comparison to the other running backs for Hughes. He's definitely a power runner, probably more of a Vaughn McIntyre than a Mikhail Howell, but you know, the very few snaps he's gotten behind there, he's taken advantage of them.
He's a straight line runner. I think that's the best way to.
Yeah, even if that line is covered, it's still going to be a straight line.
Right. 2nd down and 5, under 5 minutes to play now. Good drive here for Blanchard, milking this clock away. Up 28-13. Low snap, Cooksey, hands to Hughes. Up the middle, hitting the backfield, gets away from 1, gets away from 2, runs all the way down to the 45-yard line for a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 1 at the 45.
I think it's almost a game at this point, a game within a game. Just hand it to him and see, you know, how many plays it actually takes for them to stop him. It's a pretty interesting surprise, though, here at the, the final stanza of the game, just seeing such an out-of-left field move like Tyler Hughes coming into to running back and just kind of feeding the machine a little bit.
3rd down and 1 at the Newcastle 45-yard line. Hard count, nobody jumps. Now Cooksey moves Hughes to his right side.
Corrick's on an island right now.
Perryman in motion. Cooksey hands off to Hughes, and this time he's going to be dropped in the backfield. Lost 2. Back to the 47. It'll be 4th down. Not a ton to lose here for Blanchard. I think they're going to go for it on 4th down and 4. It's a 3-yard loss back to the 48.
Wonder if they're going to jet sweep here. It's almost a guarantee for, 4. I didn't even see that.
Tonsing's in now, so they're going to go empty backfield, I think. They might punt it as well. We'll see. Nobody's deep. This is the formation they run when they punt it.
Yeah, it'll be a punt.
Cooksey does punt it away. Nobody back to receive it. It hits at the 20, takes a big bounce inside the 15, now sideways to the 12-yard line, and that's where Newcastle will have it 1st and 10 at their own 12 with 3:17 to play. I want to thank our sponsor tonight, our title sponsor, Blanchard Eye Care. Don't forget, following the game, we'll have our LB Realty Group Player of the Game. After this one, it goes final.
I hate comparing scores of teams.
That's my vote, by the way,
yeah.
in case you were wondering.
We're not going to spoil it. We'll keep you guys.
Didn't know if you need to let somebody know.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying?
I hate comparing past scores, though, because obviously that Weatherford score, but it makes me think what Weatherford is if Newcastle beat them that bad.
Burke throws it 1st down, complete to Heskew, out across the 20 to the 21. It's a gain of 9. It'll be 2nd and 1. Clock stops with 3:11 to play.
Thank you for that.
Burke in the gun. Dropping. Steps up. Throws deep left side. And it's incomplete. Carter in coverage. He never turned around, but you don't have to anymore. He didn't touch him, so it's no pass interference. And it'll be 2nd and 10. If Carter had turned around, he might have picked that one off.
Yeah, it was.
Hit him in the back of the helmet, literally.
It was a little reminiscent of the one that I missed the very last part of right here on that same play, but he was right under it. The really good thing about Carter is even if he does get beat by a couple of steps, he just has so much speed going in a straight line that he can catch up to really almost anyone. And you saw it right there.
Here's a run by Bradford on 3rd and 1. He's got the 1st down and runs out to the 25-yard line. Gage Ellison slings him down there. It's a gain of 5 on the play. 1st and 10 at the 26 now for Newcastle with 2:57 to play, and the clock's going to start now. Should anyway. Now it does. Burke in the gun, fakes a handoff. Steps up, pressured, gets away, throws off his back foot, and it's underthrown and incomplete. Intended for Schumard. And in coverage was Hudson Perryman. 2nd down and 10.
There have been a lot of times that Blanchard front line has really gotten close to sacking the quarterback multiple times.
Blanchard's defensive backs are gassed right now for covering.
Yeah.
They're all breathing pretty hard here with 2:46 to go. Burke throwing again. Left side pass caught by Heskew and out of bounds at the 32. That's a 7-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 3 as the clock stops with 2:42 to play.
I do have to say this, though, and maybe we can shout out Brent Venables on this and the word competitive depth, but we have seen a couple of cycled players in and out. Obviously, a really good example of it is when Palmer was injured, Tonsing just being able to come into that fold and really provide more of the same that Reagan would have provided.
Handoff to Bradford, right up the middle, and he's going to be right at the sticks. I think he's got it at the 36-yard line to move the sticks with 2:37 to go. First and 10. As Burke throwing over the middle, pass nearly picked off in front of Jordan Lane and incomplete. Johnson in coverage, nearly made a play on it. It'll be 2nd down.
We've talked a little bit multiple times tonight about how just important this next 2 to 3 weeks is for this team. I mean, it truly can be, when you get to the end of the road of the regular season and you're figuring out, seedings. These are the games that matter the most, and Blanchard's really going to be starting off on the right foot here against Newcastle.
Low snap. Burke has time, throws, passes, incomplete. Johnson broke it up, intended for Jordan Lane. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Really glad Terrence kind of laid off there at the last second on that throw. It would have been a blindside hit there, but luckily the throw was so far out of reach for the receiver that he barely made an effort to catch it.
Not over yet, but if the score holds, Blanchard's going to improve to 4-1, 2-0 in district, and like you said, a big win over a team that everyone expects to be in the playoffs in Newcastle as Burke takes a low snap, 3-man rush, steps up on 3rd and 10, wants to run with it, gets away from the first man, hit from behind as McIntyre slowed him up, and then Cole Watkins came in and made the tackle at the 41. It's going to be a gain of 5, and it'll be 4th down and 5, and this is pretty much the ball game here for Newcastle.
And if we're going off recent history just from this game, I think Blanchard has a really good chance of kind of stopping them in their tracks here.
Burke takes the snap, need to get it to the 46. Pressured, steps up, gets away, rolling right, steps back, floats it downfield and incomplete, nobody home. And Blanchard will take over on downs, and this ball game is over. Blanchard can take a knee now, and they'll leave here with a victory out of Newcastle tonight as the Lions lead 28-13 with 1:46 to go and take over on downs.
This was a big, not only was it a big week for Blanchard, but kind of a big week for us, Todd, because, again, like we said, this is a game that we were not at last year, so we didn't really know what this Newcastle team was. The only thing that I could go off of was with what Coach Craig told me at the coaches show on Tuesday, and that was a team that was pretty big up front, could pretty much establish that run with ease, at least for the teams that they have played thus far, including a really good Weatherford team that Blanchard beat last year in the playoffs. And this Blanchard D has shown out tonight.
1st and 10 at the 41. Hughes still in at running back. Gets a handoff right up the middle, runs to his left, inside the 35 and down to the 33. That's an 8-yard carry. They'll mark him at the 34. So 7-yard gain. 2nd down and 3. This will take us down to a minute to play.
And if you just look at the makeup of this game is what this Newcastle offense has been able to do and what this Blanchard defense has been able to do against them. That first 7-point score that they got came their first offensive play at about 3 yards to gain. And after that, it was just complete field goals, scattered field goals in different quarters. Can't ask much more from a defense in a rivalry game than that.
Cooksey hands it to Hughes again, right up the middle. Hughes near the first down. He's going to be a yard short at the 32. And Blanchard's only going to have to snap it one more time now. Third down and 1 for Blanchard, who's going to improve to 4-1 on the season. Newcastle will fall to 4-1. The important numbers for the Lions is they'll be 2-0 in district, and the Racers will be 1-1. Blanchard with a big one next week at home at the Oscar Brooks Sports Complex against the Tuttle Tigers. As Cooksey will hand to McIntyre on what should be the last play of the game, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. And that is how this one is going to come to an end. 28-13 the final score. Blanchard with the win. By the way, Newcastle next week will travel to Bridge Creek to take on the Bobcats. And Blanchard, as I mentioned, will head back home to take on the Tuttle Tigers at the Oscar Brooks Sports Complex. And before we end things here tonight, just a reminder, we have to name our LB Realty Group Player of the Game. Drake, why don't you do the honors?
Yeah, I think far and away after the interception kind of sealed his fate being named the Player of the Game, I think Ellison is the only appropriate name that we can throw out there for the honor. First defensive player?
Only fitting that a defense, a lot of guys play both ways, but that a defense only or defense first guy wins the award, but it was a defensive performance tonight for Blanchard that was really good.
Yeah, and it's the first time we've given the LB Realty Group Player game to a defensive-only player, like you said, Todd, and I think the one constant that you can say was the driving force for this Blanchard win tonight was that defense. Obviously, it starts at the line of scrimmage. Newcastle was known for being a really good run team, a run-dominant team, and I think there were some times that, there were some gash runs, but for the most part, that Blanchard, that linebacker group, and that D-line group really held their own against that tough front five for that Newcastle O-line. And it led them to, 13 points against a Racer team that has had no problem putting up points at a large volume so far this season. I think the only thing you could say that maybe this Blanchard team needs to work on is, that offensive line. Obviously, that has been most part for the games that we have seen the constant. It's a really deep, it's a really upper-class heavy group. But here in a rivalry game, just getting, cleaning up a little bit of those penalties. That score, I know Blanchard ended up with 28, but that score could have been a whole lot more if Blanchard would have just helped themselves on some of those penalty calls. But all in all, against a Racer team that we thought was going to be pretty good, I think it just kind of shows how far and away Blanchard kind of controlled the game after getting those first two initial scores.
All right, let's put a bow on this one tonight. Again, congrats to Gage Ellison, the LB Realty Group Player of the Game. First and foremost, we want to thank Blanchard Eye Care, tonight's title sponsor of this game. Dr. Vince Young, correct, at Blanchard Eye Care.
Yes, sir.
Big supporter of Blanchard football, big fan of both of ours, and we appreciate him and his support of Blanchard football. So thank you so much to Blanchard Eye Care. Be sure and get in touch with Blanchard Eye Care if you've got any eye care needs, I guess is the best way to put it, right?
Absolutely.
Been doing that there forever and doing a great job. So thanks to Blanchard Eye Care. All right, let's look at some scores. The First United post-game scoreboard. In district tonight, Blanchard wins this one 28-13 over Newcastle. The other scores in district, it's Tuttle 27-0 over Hera. Bethany defeated Bridge Creek 38-0. And Tecumseh played Classen tonight and beat Classen by a score of 42-7. So those are your scores tonight in district. That is your First United post-game scoreboard report. Want to thank all of our sponsors of Blanchard football: First United Bank and Mortgage, Yarborough & Sons Heating and Air, Brightway Insurance, the LB Realty Group, Casa de Wolf Design, Sutterfield Surveying, Hometown Healthcare, Coops Performance Gym, Quick Wrench, 10 Arrows Roofing, Craig and Strait Orthodontics, and Keeler Custom Homes. And again, big thanks to Blanchard Eye Care. And one last time before we leave, just a reminder, tomorrow night at 10 Arrows Coffee and Bistro, it's trivia night, 7 to 9 p.m. Limited tables available. In fact, there's only 2 tables left. So text 405-740-5638 to pre-register. There are 5 people to each table. If you've got a group you want to take, You need to have 5. If you don't have 5, they're going to put somebody with your group to make 5 at the table. So just know that it's $5 per person, $500 worth of prizes for the winning team at 10 Arrows Coffee and Bistro tomorrow night for Trivia Night, 7 to 9 p.m. And if you're worried about missing the OU game, don't worry, it'll be on the TVs there. Did I miss anything, Drake?
No, that was pretty much better than anything that I've ever said in my life. So,
other than that, we have to thank Ashley Robertson tonight for all of her help. We have to thank the great Nate, Reeves Mitchell back in studio, everyone here at Newcastle who's helped us get all set up tonight here as well. Thank you to all of them. Thank you most of all to all of you for listening or watching on the stream tonight. We'll be back next week. Carson Craig will be on the call.
Correct. We're going to miss you next week.
Drake Vitito. I'll be out of town in lovely Maryville, Missouri. Not lovely, for the record. But I'll be back the following week, so hopefully the Blanchard Lions can get a win with me out next week. So, again, next week, 7 o'clock kickoff at the Oscar Brooks Sports Complex. We'd obviously love to see you there, but if you can't make it, right here, same place here on the stream or at Classic Rock 104.5. Until then, for Drake Vitito, for Reeves Mitchell, for the great Nate, for Ashley Robertson, my name is Todd Lisenby. Our final score here tonight, Blanchard 28, Newcastle 13. You've been listening to Blanchard Lions Football, brought to you by Blanchard Eye Care.